So many teachers are conflicted about whether or not they should stay in the classroom or if they should leave teaching. Today, we're going to talk about 6 ways to determine whether or not it's time for you to leave the field of teaching. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you do not know, my name is Cindy Lumpkin, and I have been in education over a long time, let's just say, okay? But I've spent a lot of time in public schools as well as I started my own school. I'm on a mission now just to inspire and motivate teachers to do what they want to do, whether that means staying in the classroom or whether that is leaving, and helping you to feel okay with your decision. Also, if you are interested in starting your own school, I'm your girl for that too. But let's go ahead on and get into the topic of this particular video. I want to share with you 6 ways you can determine whether or not it's time for you to leave teaching. So number 1, it's not really what you want to do. That's a no-brainer, right? But believe it or not, a lot of people get into the field of teaching. Maybe they have high hopes, or maybe they wanted to do it as something in between what they really want to do, and then they got stuck. But I think that it's one of the things that you really need to ask yourself. Do you really want to be a teacher? And if the answer is no, then that's okay. But I think you have to be honest with yourself. And if this is not what you want to do, you may want to consider leaving teaching. I feel like you should do something that sets your heart on fire. And if that's not teaching, then you should not stay. I think we're living in a time where now more than ever, because we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, I think you should live each day doing what you feel you want to do, what brings you happiness. Number 2, if you were not called to this profession, once again, I know so many other people who really went to school to be something else, and something may have gotten in the way, life circumstances. Maybe it was a female who wanted to go on and be a doctor, but she ended up getting married and starting to have her family, and then it was just too much. Maybe it was someone who wanted to pursue a career in acting, and it just didn't happen in the time frame that they wanted it to happen. So they was like, you know what? I can be a teacher. Matter of fact, I have a friend who I actually went to college with, and that was always her dream, was to be an actor. But sometimes it is hard out there for actors and actresses, right? So she took a position at a school that had a wonderful world-renowned performing arts program, and she was their teacher, and she did a phenomenal job. But guess what? She wasn't fulfilled. She ended up leaving within 1 year, and she shouldn't feel bad. You know what? For 1 year, those students had someone who was amazing in her field, but it just wasn't what she was called to do. She was called to be an actress, and now she's out in LA chasing her dream. So if teaching is not what you were called to do, don't feel bad. Go ahead on and find what that is, and you are going to discover that you are going to make way more of an impact doing what it is you were called to do versus doing something where you called yourself to it. Number 3, if teaching does not bring you joy, believe it or not, there are some people who wake up and they drag and they don't want to go to school. They sit in their car just waiting and waiting until the very last minute so they won't sign in late. And it doesn't bring them joy. If it does not bring you joy and you are sitting on the fence trying to decide whether or not you're going to stay in the classroom or leave teaching, then let me help you out. If you're not happy, cut it. Go and find you whatever it is that makes you happy. Once again, life is just too short. If you're currently teaching and you know that there's an amount of money that you want to make, or if you feel like you want to grow, or, move from one position to another position, there's not a whole bunch of growth in the field of teaching. There's not so many positions, right? We can be an assistant principal, maybe a principal, maybe go to the district office, but it's just not a lot of growth. And if you're someone who just feels as if the classroom is your training ground and you know that you want to continue to move up into the ranks, and now you are like 25 years in and you really do not see a clear path where you're going to get promoted to leadership or wherever else, and you're not happy, then leave. You know, there is not a lot of room really for growth in the field of teaching anyway. So if you are just like not wanting, or if you're feeling like you need to grow and you feel stifled, then it may be time for you to leave. Matter of fact, you may be just the person who is more interested in maybe even starting your own educational program. And if you are, we have a Facebook group called Teachers Interested in Starting Their Own School. You should join it. Matter of fact, I have a beta program that is going on right now. So if you go to our group and ask about it, I can share more information with you. But do not feel like you have to stay. If this applies to you, then it is time for you to leave. And I think number 5 is my favorite. If you are being a hypocrite, what do I mean? Well, we tell young people all the time, do what makes you happy, do what you feel like you're good at, do what you feel like you're making a difference at. If you're not physically well, then, don't do it or stay home. Matter of fact, that's what my coach used to tell me all the time. If he said, if I'm not ready to step on that basketball court, that track, or that volleyball court, and if I was not prepared to do 110%, that something was wrong with me, then I needed to go have a seat. So I'm telling you the same thing. Don't be a hypocrite. Don't go and encourage children to, do what they feel, or don't do this because of whatever, but you're stuck in a situation where you're not taking the advice that you give. So if you are being a hypocrite, it might be time for you to leave teaching. And last but not least, the 6th one, if you are having mental health challenges, stop. Go take care of yourself. I give you permission. Like, what authority do I have, right? But some of you need to hear that. Like, there should be no shame about you having to do what's best for you and having to do what's best for your family. Matter of fact, I did a 2-part series video on how not to feel guilty if you feel like you're called to leave teaching. So if that person is you, if you're feeling guilty, I'm going to put that link up here. Make sure you go and watch it. But if you're having mental health challenges, you're not at your best. In the words of my coach, you can't give 110%. And so your students need someone in front of them who are able to give their all and to show up and to be present for them. So if any of these things resonated with you and you feel like it's your confirmation to either stay in the classroom or leave the classroom, have no fear. Go ahead on and make the best decision for you. You earned that much. Society, we owe you, me too, because I'm a teacher, that much. Teachers are some of the most sacrificial people ever. We have servant hearts. We serve people and we love people, and we do this in some of the less desired circumstances, right? And we've been doing this for years. Well, you know what? It's our time. It's our time to do what makes us happy and for us to show up the way that our students need us to show up, or for us to show up for ourselves the way that we need to show up. All right. I am Cindy Lumpkin. Once again, if you are new here, if you like this type of content, inspiration, motivational, and if you like to follow my journey of me running a private school, guess what? It's such a small school too. So when I say private, there's nothing elitist or classism related to my school. We have students who are from every income bracket imaginable. I've just done some of my best work in this environment. And so I really have gotten to a point where, especially when you're talking about students with learning differences, that some of them need something totally different than what is going on in public schools. And so I have gotten peace with that. As a society, we say that one size doesn't fit it all, but when we talk about public schools, a lot of times we're talking about one size and we're trying to make it fit it all. Nothing against public schools. I absolutely love it, and it's a part of my children's strategy, but private is also a part of my children's strategy. So I've been on this road where I feel like I've been judged a lot, and that's why I can show up to you now and say, hey, if this isn't working for you, then say bye. So if you would like for me to give you any other advice on teaching and the state of teaching right now, please just leave a comment below, and I will see you later.